touch that dial. It's time for yet another episode of Coriander Society Adventures, bringing you the latest in daring do from the great city of Northport, starring Ninjaman Matt, Pods of War, and I, your humble host, Tormented by Gnomes.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yay.
Hello.
Matt. Welcome, everybody.
Yes.
This is our Amazing Adventures game. You're on episode 82. I should have a recap somewhere for people to catch up because no one's going to click on episode 82. But
82.
You know, yeah, that's a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine sticking with something this long, this consistently. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it's kind of out of character. Matt, what's going on? How are you?
I am doing pretty darn well. I crushed my day job between my enormous thighs, and then like a watermelon, it popped all over my house, and I had to clean it up. It was dreadful.
Yeah, that sounds. You know what? Let's just talk to Pods now instead of you.
That was disgusting.
Pods, what's going
The
on?
visual I
guys?
just had. I'm doing good. Also worked all day, but now we're here for some D&D, so excited about that. It's been a good
Yay.
week so far.
Yay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. And it's nice to have a couple of probably, potentially, unless something goes horribly wrong, more laid back episodes. So, when last we left our heroes,
After vanquishing some of their most notorious nemesis, our heroes returned once again to the city of Northport to reconvene with their friends. John had a sinister conversation with the warlord and general Sigomo, also known as Warcrow. Warcrow made an offer to him that if John will help Warcrow get into the Obsidian Tower and convince Gaston to work for the Special Projects Pavilion, he will assist John in unlocking the secrets of that dark place. Meanwhile, Asena went to go speak with her probably mother and introduced her childhood friend Kele. She also learned of the dreadful news of her grandfather, Aloysius Carrington's death. Her mother, Jasmine Maurice Carrington, agreed to help plan the interdimensional gala for Prince Casimir Vosky of the world of Lacunas. Our heroes then traveled all the way over to the Donahue Institute for the Gifted and reunited with John's former apprentice, Hara, now headmistress of the academy, along with Opal Donahue, the proprietor, and Philip Carrington, Asena's probably brother.
okay, what the heck happened after that? I watched the whole episode today. My cat just jumped into my lap and it deleted my brain. So you all had a conversation. You found out that Aloysius Carrington had made a deal with the Omelons. He was trying to live forever because he was getting old and afraid of death. He was on that Zeppelin that when Philip sent a group of mercenaries to help find his missing grandfather. They found him, and because they are extremely anti-Omelon, they blew up the whole Zeppelin. So Aloysius Carrington and Professor Strickland, who was in fact an Omelon spy, are both dead. The memorial service is being held this weekend. Let's say it's like Wednesday, Thursday in game, effectively. So you have a couple of days until then. There was some arguments about whether or not to tell Asena's mother, Aloysius's daughter, before the funeral, because it could impact standing there over the casket of her father-in-law, wondering what to feel about this man who ended up turning to the not Nazis instead of his own family. There was discussion of a heist to steal the interdimensional portal that originally led to Lawrence Booker Greene's homeworld, the world that Cenopulchre, the now defeated undead godling, hails from. Our heroes use this portal to get around to the Obsidian Tower, to the world of Lacunas, and it's still sitting in the museum. And the people who own the museum have no idea what it is that they have in their hands. So there is discussion of a potential heist. Also, Lawrence Booker Greene is missing. We last left our heroes all hopping into a cab, driving away from the Donahue Institute while a mysterious figure in a dark vehicle across the street watched them, communicated with a futuristic device with somebody else, while our heroes had no idea what was going on. So, with all that being said, where are our heroes off to, and what would they like to do first?
Well, now that you've got this really nice map with a lot of various peoples, various persuasions, I think it might be a good idea. Maybe not this right this moment, but at some point we should go pay the mayor a visit, considering they are no longer under the thumb of their not son.
Indeed. Mayor Warner Dodson, a former clergyman turned politician, who was having secret meetings with the crime lord Lincoln Giotto, and was under the oppression of a man who called himself Dre Dodson and claimed to be the mayor's bastard son, but was in fact a necromancer from another dimension. Warner is a staunch opponent of Omelos and is planning to run for prime minister of the entire Commonwealth on an interventionist platform, saying that we need to get in there, we need to send troops, we need to go fully to war against the Omelons before they conquer the old world.
So they're going to be definitely linking up with the General Warcrow at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that they're no longer dealing with a necromancer, and I don't know how much we're into wanting the Commonwealth to go to war, but hedging out the
Omelons are certainly tyrannical and bad.
But hedging out the spies and various splinter cells in the region would obviously be a good thing, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Lincoln Giotto and
Mr. Lowe
were just recently taken out, and we're installing Gaston, the hero of Northport, along with Edelvina as the new underground bosses of the area. So having a mission to approach Dodson would be a good idea at some point.
Absolutely. Now that so many of the big players in town are on your side, it could be a helpful thing to do. So, a couple of things. Sorry, were you going to say something, Potts?
Well, I was just going to ask if we're just going to walk in his doors. I mean, what is...
Just kick down the door and say, hi, we're here now.
Yeah, what does a mission to Dodson entail?
I was mostly considering we didn't bring it up at all to Joe before, and he probably didn't prep anything for that. So we could be kind and put it on the agenda. But yeah, we could just kick down the door right now.
I can deal with it if that's what you want to do. I don't know if I have my map prepared, but you should probably have a plan before you do that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we need a reason.
Do you have a reason yet?
When has Asena ever needed a reason to go anywhere or do anything?
You can't just walk into his door and just be like, hey, we want to know if you're good or bad anymore.
Hello, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
I'm a bad witch. No, I think the conversation would more so be, hey, we've helped eliminate all the threats to your station in the city. We have some allied individuals who are making their way as the kings of the underground, and it'd be better to work together than against each other. That would be more so the kind of an opening salvo of introductions.
An introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe after the funeral.
Probably a good idea.
So Lawrence Booker Greene is missing. You hired some urchins to go try to find him. I'm sure they'll be back to you soon. General Segomo wants you to talk to Gaston and convince him to work for the Special Projects Pavilion, and he'll help you get into that tower, John. Aloysius Carrington's funeral is in a couple of days. Circe still wants a lair, minions, a lab, to get started, get set up somewhere in this world, or to go off to Lacunas. You've been talking about this world of high-tech mechs, and she's been frothing at the mouth as a master of Magitech. And you were planning on stealing the portal from the museum and installing it. I don't know. I don't think we ever got that far, but the ruined portal that leads to the Obsidian Tower could be extremely useful, especially since it would let Asena continue her astral training, learning more about her draconic origins and becoming more Dargan, as she says.
We should probably do that, especially if we're going to go to Lacunas after the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Take maybe mom with us. It's probably line right up.
And I think considering the resources in space, bringing it back to the Donahue Institute would probably be a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's more secure than Aelberg.
Yeah, I knew you were thinking about your house for some reason.
One thing to keep in mind is that Asena's lair is actually in the middle of Freaks territory, and the Freaks are the street gang led by the Red Hand, who is your ally because you freed him from Ralzamon's influence. Also, sort of a revolutionary group that wants to overthrow the mayor and the rich and powerful in town, which kind of includes the Donahues and the Carringtons to a certain degree. So, walk that one with a fine line.
Also, we have the, what was that? The Jute Stamp and Dime, the haunted warehouse.
Which is actually an Omelan spy cell, which Gaston has partially infiltrated.
Yes.
You could still go ghost hunting, though. Nobody's going to stop you from going ghost hunting.
You really want to do that?
I brought it up last time, and you said you didn't finish it. So it's always nice to just be able to put a pin in what we've encountered. But yeah, if we don't care about it, it's not really a problem. I think that going to the museum is going to be pretty paramount.
The museum for the portal?
Yep, the heist. Exactly that.
To steal the freaking portal.
How do we do that?
That's a good question. It's also not my problem. Go ahead.
Well, we're going to need some information specifically about the portal. What are its dimensions, Dungeon Master?
10-foot diameter.
What's the approximate weight?
Oh, probably at least 500 pounds. It's made of stone. Possibly more. You've got a photographic memory, right? Does your character actually have a photographic memory? I forget.
Got 20 intelligence.
Okay, roll an intelligence check. Just a flat intelligence check with no modifiers.
He's also got a cell phone.
For a point of inspiration or a charge off the briefcase, you can have taken a picture.
Perfect.
All right.
I do just that.
This is the layout of the museum, the Zolkian Antiquities exhibit. This is the portal itself.
Did we come in from the roof last time?
You came in through the roof. Some people went in through the front door. It was kind of a mix and match sort of operation.
Big old grab bag.
But as you can see, it's made of solid stone. It weighs at least 500 pounds, possibly half a ton.
I don't know how to steal a portal.
Mate, does John get the indication that this portal needs to remain intact in order to be preserved and usable, or could it be taken piecemeal and reconstructed?
So if it's taken piecemeal and reconstructed, it's going to be more work to put it back together. You know what I mean? It's already broken as is. So if you move it, it's going to need some recalibration or repairs. Like the magic of it might have to be fixed. If you disassemble it, then the magic is definitely going to have to be fixed.
Question. Cersei's gun, the reconstitution ray that makes things bigger, smaller, and all sorts of other stuff. Does that only affect creatures, or could it affect objects as well?
Let's take a look. And this is a conversation you could have with her as you're in the taxi.
No, thank you. But go on.
All right. Let's take a look at Circe, Master of Magitex. Stupendous size changing ray. It does not say it has to target a creature.
Cool.
And I shrank a taxi earlier, so I think you can. This passes.
There you go. Then I think that's plan A, because that'll be the very easiest way to just be able to get in. We can all dress up, look like tourists, make a distraction, snap a pic of the portal right when we shrink it, put it in a bag, and get the hell out of there.
So somebody like maintains an illusion of it while you stick it in the bag of holding.
Yep.
Okay, roll an Arcana check for me, please.
Sure. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So here's the thing about that. You know how if you put a bag of holding inside of a bag of holding, it explodes?
Yeah.
This counts as an extra dimensional thing. And with a 20 intelligence, there is a very high chance that it could cause the bag of holding to explode. Just like because it's two extra dimensional things interacting.
Well, in that case, it's going to be tiny, so you can stick it in a bag, regardless.
That's fair. That's fair. A bag not of holding, just a bag of bag.
Just a bag that holds.
Mm-hmm. But it's completely different from a bag of holding.
It's just an ordinary bag, but it's called a bag does holding.
Okay.
Should we maybe
What was that?
to illusion it and make it small and steal it? And what are we gonna leave in its place?
An illusion of the exact same portal for about
Well, we can't
a
keep
minute.
that for forever.
For about a minute until we get out, and it's not our problem anymore.
Okay, but people are still gonna know it's missing, and then they're still
Oh,
gonna go
obviously.
look for it.
And they're never gonna find it.
Can we make like an illusion of it like exploding and like leave a bunch of rocks behind?
Act like it got blown up.
Well, in that case, we're staging an attack. But yes, we can do that.
Well, I mean, and then they'll just wonder who blew it up and not go looking for it.
So you think that if that's a very interesting line of thinking. So if someone came and just destroyed that priceless work of art, they would just let it go and go, well, we're not gonna try and figure out who did that. But if someone came and stole it and they had no idea who stole it, they're gonna go looking for it and eventually find it.
Yep.
Okay. I see no flaws in any of this. Sure, let's stage an attack. That sounds like fun.
I mean,
Alright.
you could make it. Okay, there's pillars next to it. What if just some of the foundation broke? What if it had like a leaky roof and it fell over or something? Like, you don't have to make it seem like on purpose.
Well, and then in that case, we still have to make sure that we make a near perfect replica of the item that we leave evidence of destruction. Because if we just leave a bunch of rocks, they're not going to just... The security guard's not going to walk over and go, look at these rocks, they must have broke. They're going to be sending people in to see what can be recoverable from this destruction. And then when it's found out that these are not the same stones that even came from what they believe are the Zopian jungles, we're going to be in a very similar way, that they're probably going to think it was stolen, or, hey, this thing blew up and changed to completely different. I think that we're overcomplicating a very snatch and grab situation, but yeah, I mean, we have...
Well, I think you're overcomplicating rocks.
That's the thing about ancient rocks. They're pretty complicated, Asena.
I don't know if they even know the difference. We can steal it, fine, if you think my idea is dumb, but
I didn't say
they're
that.
gonna come after you.
I can't imagine how, but you could be right. And if that's the case, when they come knocking on our door, then we'll deal with it when it happens.
Okay.
But as I was saying, we have one of the foremost set designers in Northport, and with Gaston's help, I'm sure we'd be able to replicate an exact or near exact copy.
What a callback.
Especially considering that Gaston's used to destroying priceless artifacts. I'm sure he'd be happy to
Kind of his shtick.
construct. Exactly.
So you're saying it is a good idea.
I'm just trying to make sure that you're on board with whatever this is, because we have to take this portal. So whatever's going to get you to be cool with doing this is what we're going to do.
We're taking the portal. I never said I was against that.
No, of course not. It's just the means. We're trying to solidify how we're going to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds as though we will need to get Gaston's attention, make sure that he's available for a project like this, and probably get some stone from somewhere that we can use in order to craft our ruse.
What do you want to call him?
Yeah, certainly. And I'm going to go ahead and buzz Gaston.
All right. You give Gaston a call. He's in the middle of working on his latest project. He hears all about it, and he gives you a couple of options. So on the one hand, he could work with just whatever stone he has and try to replicate the chemical compounds and artificially age it. so it'll match for all intents and purposes. Given his mastery of both set design and chemistry, etc., good shot. Even odds that'll work. It all depends on how good the experts at the university are. Alternative is that we go get some of the stone from the tomb of Cenopulchre and use that to build it. And if that's the case, in either case, what he wants from you is to take a 3D scan of the portal with your techno gadgets, with your not a dual disc system.
Yeah.
Because in any case, he can use that information for the replica. He's going to need at least a day. And if you want the actual stone, probably a couple of days, because he's going to need to get Vector to fly again. And he'll probably need to bring Circe to shrink it for transport, because even though the lightning bug has cargo capacity, it's an experimental craft that can't haul like huge amounts of stuff.
How long does the shrink last for with Circe's ray?
See, that's the funny thing.
There's no duration, is there?
There's no duration until dispelled or reversed.
Wow. Okay, very good.
So he could take Vector and Circe and go on a quick trip back to the Zolquian jungles, pick up anything else that you need while you're down there, and then head back up with the actual stone, which would probably be ready like the night before the memorial. So you'd have a couple of days before that would happen.
Okay, yeah, so we can just make sure that we get this all prepped, and then either before or after the service, we would do the heist.
He'll take care of the replica. Circe will take care of the shrinking, both of the replica and the, de-shrinking that, shrinking the replica, pulling off the swap. You two will be in charge of the details of the actual heist, but your props team, your tech team will take care of you. Do you want to go ahead and have them do that?
Yeah, and question, mate. Generally, the portal doesn't glow unless we interact with it, right? This thing doesn't just normally.
Correct.
Okay,
it's
so
inert.
Then we can just make a replica and just replace it. Then we don't have to worry about destruction or anything.
Yeah, if it's a completely inert replica, as long as it passes muster, you should be fine.
Okay, very good. Then yeah, we'll move forward with that. Then does that sound good, Asena?
Sure.
All right. So our heroes will go ahead and drive. Whoopsie. Oh, right. I don't control those characters on this account. Our heroes will head up to Gaston's lair, his secret laboratory, drop off Circe, and I'll ask Beatdown if he trusts Circe with seeing his lab or not. I'll put that in my notes. But either way, they're going to drop her off and take some notes on it. Heading down to Zolquia to get some stone from the tomb of Cenopulchre to create a false portal. Beatdown. Can Circe see your lab or no? All right. So she's super excited to see it. Gaston gives one of those like, but he doesn't decide before you leave. And Vector is going to head over to the lab as well, just to prepare for the trip. All right. So now it's down to the three of you, including Kele.
Asena, did you want to stop by City Hall and meet with Nancy Rain before we head up to get the pictures? She's on the way.
Sure. What would we talk to her about?
Oh, I just didn't know if you wanted to unpack anything. After the defeat of Cenopulchre, it was a pretty emotional time, and a lot has happened. I guess maybe Grandpa passed away. I mean, she's not connected nearly as intricately as you are to the family, but
if everything is to be believed, Nancy Rain is not related to the Carringtons. She comes from the Donahue family. She's a lost Donahue sister.
I don't know.
This music is way too funky. Give me a sec.
it is a little bit distracting, I will say.
I've got to work on my ambient list for Northport. You'd think I'd have a decent list, but I'm just okay. You know what? We'll do the docks. Yeah, the docks district. Go. Repeat. All right, cool. Anyways, now that the funk has been reduced. All right, so you have a couple of days. I'm just going to go ahead and move them to Zolquia entirely. So I accidentally stole the lab. Let me put the laboratory back.
Uh-oh. Whoop.
All right, so you have a few days before that's actually ready to go.
The
I'll give
notes
us-
on all of the buildings and stuff are very cool, by the way.
Thank you. It can use a little bit more work. It's not as detailed as our Baldur's Gate map, but you know, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
All right, so you have a few more days. You could do party planning. A guest list is taking form. You could go visit one of your other universes. You could go check in on Charlie and Ben. You could, what else did we have on the to-do list? It's one of these damn tabs.
So many.
Lawrence
tabs.
Booker Greene hasn't been found yet. And you have to decide what you can decide what you want to do about General Segomo's offer.
Yeah, John would have definitely brought it up with Gaston when we saw them, but I don't feel like that's really going to be a feasible option. But Gaston might be interested.
Okay.
Both in helping.
He'll take the trip to Zolquia to think about it.
Okay. And yeah, I figure today we'll go ahead and get the prep done. We'll get the pictures and the scans from the museum. We'll take stock of the defenses that they currently have set up with their security, and we'll be able to make a plan of action for getting in and getting out, as well as, you know, the fabrication and swap of these items.
All right, let's roll to case the joint. John, what are you doing to case the joint and prepare for the heist?
Well, John is going to go ahead and utilize his gumshoe abilities. Do you need like a collection of what I'm doing, or is it like a skill challenge, just one at a time?
It's skill challenging, yeah.
Okay,
So
well,
a little narration.
he's going to be utilizing his training as a private detective in order to blend into the crowds of the museum, making sure that he is practically invisible while he's there. And he's going to make sure that he can take the pictures that he needs. He's going to be using his dual disc TM as sparingly as possible, only when absolutely necessary, because it can be a bit eye-catching. So for the most part, he's just going to be on the down low, taking pictures with his camera. So it'll be a combination of utilizing his face in the crowd feature, as well as sleight of hand and stealth, in order to get the shots he needs.
Why don't you drop sleight of hand in the chat just so we can see what it does?
Certainly.
Because it's cool.
Because
I meant facing the crowd. I meant facing the crowd.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Bam, there you go. It's huge.
Quick changes, disguise, used to throw off a tail stalk prey without, and you can just disguise yourself as not me. Same everything, just not me, or even lower class if you wanted to, because, you know, grunging up a bit helps.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And you make so do a charisma performance check, please. Or a disguise kit or makeup kit check.
There we go. Much better. It was almost a lot higher.
All right. Let me see how good the museum guards' passive perception is. I don't think it's that great, even though they're guards. They're guards. They have patrol officer stats. Yep, they have a passive perception of 12. So you just barely avoid looking suspicious. Asena, you are at the museum. How would Asena prepare for a heist?
I don't think Asena has any idea how to prepare for this heist. And so what she's doing is she is trying to look as not suspicious as possible by looking very strange. So you can see her using this opportunity to show Kele the museum and talk about Northport and Yord's history, but she's completely making it up as she's going on.
Okay. Give me a history check or a performance check or a persuasion check or deception check, something in those lines. A natural 20 on performance. Oh my God. Okay. So you're just giving this ridiculous, you know, it was founded by demons who were looking to build a vacation home after they burrowed up from the center of the earth. Kelly's just listening to you the entire time, utterly unsure of what to say. So aside from blending in, are you trying to notice anything at the same time or just walking around?
I mean, she'll probably look around and see who else is there, like
Mhm.
maybe where the guards are, or like any employees that work there.
Okay. Give me a. How about a perception check, and then we're going to go back to John. 13. All right, John, having blended into the crowd, you wanted to use sleight of hand, you said, to
Yes, that's right.
surreptitiously activate your dual disc system.
Yeah.
Okay, give me sleight of hand and maybe science or technology if you have an applicable skill.
Certainly. I can go ahead and why? Just a moment.
I can't answer any of those questions. It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it?
Wait, what?
Where? Why are we here?
Oh, I said just a moment. But understandable.
Have a nice day.
21.
Okay. Much stealth.
That's like
Very
it.
wow. All right. You are able to surreptitiously deploy your device, which nobody's looking for, because if it was a Dr. Zorbius device, for example, it'd be a lot larger and more obnoxious with like a twist, one of those turning keys in the back, something along those lines. People are not used to this level of micro tech. All right. So aside from sneaking in and recording everything, is John doing anything else?
Recording, doing 3D scans, checking the layout of the security, finding out who exactly is here, if it's just security guards, if they have any kind of recording devices. If possible, if that stuff isn't apparent, he's going to probably come back either after hours in order to find out what that would be like, kind of figuring out if it's going to be easier to steal it in broad daylight if they're like less secure, or if at night the defenses aren't that big of a deal and they can just kind of get in and get out.
Okay. Roll an investigation check to study the security systems.
Well, that is a natural 1, and that's not going to fly.
Yeah, I
because
didn't think so.
We're not doing the Coriander comedy hour right now. So John's going to go ahead and use a luck die to re-roll that.
Okay. A 19
I'm going to use a deduction die.
to deduce.
Rolling like absolute garbaggio. That's a little better.
26. Okay, so there are alarm systems, and they are slightly more advanced than you would expect for this technology level. It looks like they've got some weird science installed. Actual security cameras, which should not be a thing right now. Pressure systems, alarms, and so you estimate that it might be easier to pull this off during the day. Because if you can
Are
fool
these things inert during the day, or?
Well, there aren't like motion detectors active, right? Because there's a lot of motion all over the place. People are moving around the place. Like the alarms on the outside aren't set because people are supposed to enter and exit. There are still security measures in place, but they rely a lot more on guards during the day. So if you'd rather defeat systems, go at night. If you'd rather defeat people, go during the day.
Where is the actual power for the system?
The power comes in off the main power supply. There is a backup generator. Or do they even have backup generators back then?
It depends on how much money this museum has compared to what kind of weird science is, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Orin Strickland worked for this for the university that sponsors this museum. There's a non-zero chance that they had some Omelon money flowing in. So yes, they have a generator. It's not very advanced, but they do have an emergency backup generator. So with a 26, you'd know where the main power line is, and you'd know where the generator is.
Okay. And what would their reaction be if the generator went offline?
Well, they wouldn't notice if the generator went offline because it's off, except in the case of a power outage.
So in that case, if John could go about malfunctioning it when the power is still on, then it wouldn't be able to back up in the first place.
Correct. And probably nobody would notice. Probably.
Then that is John's next goal of this operation.
Okay. Are you going to do it during the day right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be, since there's not a lot active right now aside from guards, it's pretty easy usually for him to sneak by some guards, especially if he goes and is able to get a message to Asena. You're still wearing your earpiece, right, Asena?
Yeah.
So John's gonna buzz Asena. Hey, you got a second?
Oh, yeah, I have a second.
So I'm thinking about cutting their power to make it easier for us to get in and get out, depending on
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
We'll be in the dark. Oh, I can see in the dark. It should be fine.
Well, I mean, I would cut their backup power during the time they have power, so that way, in case we need to cut the power, they don't have a backup. So I was hoping you could provide a bit of a distraction to make it easier for me to get to where I need to go.
Okay. Who do you want me to distract?
And in that case, John's going to use his investigation that he's already been utilizing to give her that information. Because while Matt doesn't know it off the top of his head, I'm sure John has a pretty good idea.
So do you want her to distract guards? Just like create a ruckus so that the guards and the maintenance people are paying attention to it? Because that's who you need to deal with right now. In order to get where you're going, you will need to sneak past some people and open a locked door.
Well, so here's my thought. Is that I want Asena to cause a distraction probably by knocking over or accidentally destroying a piece of art, because in that case, everyone, not just the guards, but the maintenance people are going to have to react to it in order to clean it up. They're going to have people section away. It's going to be a big brouhaha. If this is anything like real life, as long as she makes it accidental, they're not going to press any charges. Generally, it's just a slap on the wrist if you accidentally knock a vase off of a pillar. And so at that point, John is...
I'm not going to destroy an artifact, John. I can make a ruckus, don't worry. But
who do you think she is? Gaston?
I know. Maybe Gaston should be here.
Exactly. Okay, well, in any case, as long as you can create a suitable enough distraction, which I have full confidence you can, John's plan is to pull a secret agent maneuver, and he's going to knock out a maintenance person and hide them in a closet and disguise himself as them in order to be able to get where he needs to go unobstructed.
Okay. It's not a bad plan. And with your investigation, you'd already know you'll still need to succeed on stealth or deception to get up to somebody. And you'll need to figure out how to clonk them in one round, if at all possible, or, just go to sleep, whatever it is. So if you're ready to proceed, Asena, you just got to tell me what kind of distraction you want to cause.
Okay. One sec.
They have a pickle dog stand right outside that Asena's patronizing at the moment.
Eating pickles. So as she is explaining to Kele all of this fake history, her you see her act getting like bigger and bigger, and she's inviting patrons and everyone to come join along in the tour. Like a fake docent. Yeah. So naturally, I imagine that would bother some actual tour guides. So she's gonna like jump up onto sort of like anything that is like a pedestal or maybe like something with like a light on it, and just start being louder and just saying these facts and stories, and I imagine like security is going to be like, get down from there, what are you doing?
Curator Benedict is running out with his very, very small glasses on the bridge of his nose. Somebody, what is she doing? This is a mockery of everything that we stand for, spreading these falsehoods. This woman is clearly not well. We have the facilities for her right down the street. I want her sectioned immediately. Sir, Mr. Benedict, we'll take care of this. All right, and you got a natural 20 on that performance check earlier, so I'm just going to let that roll right into it. That's the benefit you get, is that you just cause a ruckus by being loud and wrong. And people are either fascinated by what you're saying and they're from out of town, or they don't know any better, so they believe you, or they think you're hilarious that you're so wrong, or they're waiting to see if there's going to be a fight. So you absolutely draw a crowd, and security's trying to push through and maintenance is distracted. That's your opening, John. What do you want to do?
Okay, so John is going to find the maintenance guy, and before even approaching him, John is going to, and I don't know if I can dictate how effective I do or don't want this to be, but John's going to hit the maintenance person with the most clearance that he's able to locate with his mind sliver cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to take, it's an intelligence saving throw. They're going to take psychic damage, but more importantly, their next saving throw is going to be made with a negative 1d4.
Okay, how much psychic damage is it?
Well, at this point, it's going to be 2d6.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that John is sufficiently...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's 3d6.
I'm going to say John is sufficiently apt at the arcane arts. I am going to have you roll an arcana check.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to.
It's like a DC 10. It's basically
okay.
You have a 5% chance to accidentally.
Yeah, exactly. I rolled a 2, which gave me an 11.
So you're not going to kill this guy, but he's definitely going to have a bad hangover. You wince as you may have overdone it. There's a little blood leaking out of the nose, the eyes. You just knock him unconscious immediately.
Oh, okay, very good.
Roll 3d6. Well, let's see if you eat it.
Okay.
Or just click on the spell. Oh, it didn't like you.
It even asked me how high it wanted to be. Here, let me just do this.
So.
Okay, why isn't this working properly? Here we go. 3d6, 11.
3d20. Yeah, if you hadn't made that arcana check, that would have instantly killed him. So.
Interesting.
Because it's double his HP, so you wouldn't, but you tempered it so that he will not die. Let's see. All right. Having knocked him out, I'm going to call for a stealth check with advantage because of the distraction for you to time this and hide the body quickly at the ideal moment. All right.
Okay.
Roll stealth with advantage.
Here comes the stealth check. 23.
23. Okay, nobody's noticed. Roll athletics to lug him into a closet quickly without drawing attention. Flat athletics. People being distracted doesn't help. A 13. Okay, it's kind of, but you got it.
I'm gonna say John's slightly stronger than the average man. So that's,
You were gonna succeed. It was just a question of how quickly, how well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So you go ahead and lug him into a closet or whatever and lock him inside and steal his uniform.
Exactly. And his passcode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's old school. Even though they have some higher tech equipment, it's all big, bulky, high tech equipment, right? It's retro tech. It's not high tech. So you got his key ring, and that means you're not going to have to do sleight of hand. I am going to call for performance or deception with advantage.
And I'm not done yet, by the way.
Go ahead.
Just a moment, because John's always got to be a little more elaborate than necessary.
Exactly.
John is going to go ahead and take out a bottle of booze. He's going to make sure that he leaves a slightly consumed bottle of booze next to the gentleman's body. He's not going to tie him up or anything. He's just going to leave him passed out. Bottle of booze in hand. He's going to pour some of it on the front of his his whatever, like tank top undershirt he has on. Yeah, exactly. And he's going to take out a little, I don't know what you call it. It's not a cartridge. He's going to take out a thing of lipstick, put some on. He's going to kiss the guy on the neck and leave he's going to smack him in the face.
Okay.
And just leave a little scene like this guy was partying, doing something he shouldn't have been doing on the clock. So if he gets discovered, it's not like high alert. Oh gosh, someone's in our base stealing our dudes, and this guy just did a little something in the stock closet and got more than what he expected.
All right.
And then of course John wipes off the lipstick and then goes on his way to do exactly what you said.
Pods, the security guards are they're demanding that you step down right now. Are you doing so?
I No, she's gonna pretend like the security guards are part of her presentation. And she's now doing like a skit. And they are actors in the uprising.
It's all part of the show. It's all part of the show. Okay, give me
Thank you so much for the volunteers.
Give me another performance check, please.
Oh, God.
You're proficient because of your background, right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
My character sheet does not want to scroll up.
You know, we all have days like that.
Asena was definitely the right punching bag for the job.
I don't know if it's going to be more fun if she succeeds or fails on this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
What is Kele doing?
I don't know
in
if
all
someone
of
wants
this?
to push it for me.
What do you want Kele to be during all of this, by the way, Pods?
Oh, I got it.
You got it? Okay, cool.
No, I don't.
What are you trying to what role are you making?
Performance.
Performance. Do you have advantage on this, or is it just normal?
Let's just
Flat.
normal.
Okay, there we go. 13.
Okay.
It was almost a 20.
On a 13, they're going to be kind of insistent and attempting to actually, like, it's going to buy you a little bit more time than if you'd absolutely eaten it. But the next time we come back to you, they're going to be trying to physically remove you.
John, or rather Chester, is going to try to trip up the guards that are messing with Asena.
All right.
Just Chester pops out of nowhere and then walks between their legs and like, wait, what's going on over here? And
Ooh, get dodged, nerd.
nicely done.
Someone steps on Chester's tail in the middle of all of this. All right. So back to John. You have your disguise. You have your keys. What are you gonna do next? You're still gonna need to do deception or performance to get past like the very few people who remain, and you're going to have advantage on it because of everything that's going on.
Nice. Also, I was just thinking, can I have one little thing for Chester? We made him a sword that helps him transform and stuff, but can his sword be like some kind of like a charm on his, like, I don't know, like a collar, and then like he can make it a sword?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Cool. Or like I don't know, like an earring or something, like cat with an earring, cat with a necklace, or a collar with a charm, whatever, you know?
I like that. I like that.
Okay, so John's gonna be making his downtown, walking fast, alerting no guards now. So what do you need from me in order to have him get where he needs to be?
Deception or deception or performance.
Oh, yeah, I know where I'm gonna go with that.
Because you're playing the part of the guard, right? Of the maintenance guy right now, and nobody recognizes you, right?
And you said they shouldn't. No, did you say deception? Or sorry, did you say advantage or just normal?
Advantage. The distraction is working. The distraction give you advantage on your stealth check and on this. A 17. All right. People are sufficiently distracted. You're able to unlock the door into the backup where the backup generator is kept, and you make your way in. It's like a boiler room underneath the whole place. There's a chimney for smoke to flow out. There's a what else? A couple of canisters of extra fuel. I don't know if it's be coal powered or what at this point. We'll say it's fuel, because it's, again, retro tech. Barrels of fuel, big old generator. It's off. They only fire it up if the power goes out. Big old Frankenstein style circuit breaker switches.
Would there be a way that John would be able, since he's been working with Cersei, to get his jam ability back online? Would he be able, instead of just disabling it for a minute, would he be able to try to modify it in some way where he can just break this thing with his EMP? Because normally with his EMP, it just busts constructs and machines and vehicles for a minute, but I'm hoping to like critically make this thing fail unless it's repaired.
I will accept this for the usual price,
which is
inspiration to screw the rules.
Well, here's the thing. Normally, I'd love to do that for you, but all my inspiration is tied up in my investments, and that investment is Cersei. So I don't have any talk to give you, or else I would.
Okay. Well, in that case, you have not sufficiently advanced your technomagic to pull that off. So you might need to rely on your actual technical equipment. That
Would
being
I
said,
be able to burn spell slots or another resource that's a fine?
do you have a spell that you could combine with this that would
Ooh.
lend itself to this sort of work? That would make thematic sense. You also just got inspiration from chat.
Oh, well,
That being said, if you still want to save the inspo and you have a spell that you could do here,
I absolutely have. I have the perfect spell. I have this little ditty called Hex. It's one of my paramount spells. Like combining a Hex along with a pulse to do an EMP. It's like a magically degrading EMP.
a techno curse.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
You have placed a techno curse on this piece of equipment, rendering it faulty. I will have you roll Arcana or Science or Electrical Tools if you're proficient. But it's going to work. It's just a question of how well. Okay, 18, and you have cursed the backup generator.
Excellent. Eat my curse, backup generator. And
Okay.
John knows where it would be easy to cut the power in this place, right?
Mm-hmm. So day of, you'll be able to do so. Either with an EMP pulse for temporary, or flipping the giant circuit breaker, or cutting the wires, whatever. You have an idea of the power flow of this place.
Does he know where to do it if he was outside, or does he have to be inside?
You know where to do it outside.
Perfect. Great. Cool. Good to know.
It'll involve some climbing, but yes.
If I have a targeted 30-foot EMP, does it still involve climbing?
No, it does not.
Cool. That's good to know. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, Asena, they are attempting to physically remove you from the place, grabbing you, dragging you down. Ma'am, you need to leave now. How would you like to respond?
I'm gonna go with them, but loudly.
All right. Do intimidation to be as loud as possible.
I go loudly.
We need the Latin of that. That should be like, to go loudly. That's a good motto.
I can't believe you're taking me away for trying to help the museum and teaching all of these lovely people about our history.
You don't work here, and everything you're saying is wrong. Curator Benedict screeches from over the top of everybody.
Are you not all having a wonderful time?
Woo! Shut up! No, you're not.
I feel like we should come back every Tuesday and have Asena perform at the museum.
Dude, imagine doing that for like a year and then turning that into your heist. With that much prep.
if you go to that museum every year and roll a natural 20 performance check, it becomes history now. Everyone
Exactly.
believes you.
Lore itself changes. You go back in time and rewrite everything if it happens. All right. So a couple of things. First off, I would like John and Asena to each roll 1d10.
1d10. All right, I'm on it.
Okay, 76. All right, so I'd like you each to roll 2d6. So each of you roll.
Oh, well, shoot.
That's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine.
No. I can do better. What do you need? What do you need, boss?
No, just go ahead and roll the 2d6 pods. I can fix it. Okay.
You're gonna fix it in post.
Exactly. We'll fix it in post. And each of you roll 1d6.
Oh, very nice. I don't know if that's nice or not, to be honest.
So chat played a windfall card, which means that you get a level appropriate treasure, and you are very high level at this point. So, so you guys get a windfall, just random money that comes out to 650 gold pieces, or 65,000 Commonwealth dollars.
Okay.
So what we need is an explanation of how you get this. If it was a much smaller amount, I would say that people are tipping Asena for the tour.
I mean, why couldn't it just be tips? But one of them was a very good tip.
Because that would be ridiculous. Nobody tips $65,000. I'm thinking it is a combination of people giving Asena tips and John finding something stowed away in the basement.
I mean, it could be a GoFundMe. You know, don't suppress art. But you know, yeah, I think finding something sounds cool.
Okay, let's say that you found a cache of like a hidden place down in there that was marked for Omelon bribe money. After all, the museum was in, like, Oren Strickland had his hands in the museum. They were up to some shady stuff. Behind a loose brick down in the boiler room, there was like an envelope full of cash. So the lot of that adds up to 65,000 Commonwealth dollars.
Okay,
Somebody add that.
Our group loot.
It's in large bills.
Question for you. Was there a note along with that money, or do I just know what that money is?
Roll an investigation check to see if you're able to trace it.
Yeah. Give me that investigation.
Dirty 20. Okay, yeah, you have a clue. You have a lead that you can follow up on later. There is a cryptic note that you have an idea it's going to lead to some people on campus, which, if you follow the money, could lead you to the... So yeah, it's a clue. +1 clue.
Okay. John, get +1 clue.
Add 1 clue to your inventory. I've been telling you to get a clue all this time. You finally did.
And this is clue to the school of Omelon.
And this is something where you can use your urban tracking feature to just like all of the dots.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the way out, mate, I'm gonna head back and I'm gonna redress the guard.
Okay.
He's not still. Is he still knocked out at this point?
Mm-hmm.
John is gonna see to him getting medical attention. Once John gets him all set up, John's gonna use prestidigitation to knock the smell off of him, so he doesn't seem like a booze guy.
Mm-hmm.
Clean off the lipstick and just generally clean him back up again. And then John is gonna set him up somewhere where like it looked like he was repairing something, and then he took a tumble. And John will call for some assistance to have somebody help him.
Okay, give me stealth and deception. The nice thing about being so high level is that the people you're dealing with are not super high level, which means that a 15 passes and a 26 definitely passes. All right, so rather than ruining this man's career, you have set him up to actually get medical attention. John thinks twice about it, and they're going to go ahead and bring him in, all while Asena is being escorted from the premises. If anything like this ever happens, actually, Curator Benedict is, you're banned for life.
Do you know who my mother is? How dare you?
I can't be banned for life. I want to come tomorrow.
Well, you can't.
But maybe next week.
No. Will you be alive next week?
Is that a threat? Are you trying to murder me?
Dude, you can't say things like that to people.
Asena, give me a charisma-based check to put the fear of lawsuit in this man.
The fear of lawsuit. Oh my gosh.
Any charisma-based skill.
What does that mean?
Deception,
Like
performance,
deception,
persuasion, intimidation, any of those. Oh, sorry, I meant persuasion, but you rolled a 19, so
yeah.
The legal, like a secretary runs out from admin, grabs Benedict by his, you know, those tweed jackets that have like the elbow pads on them in a different fabric, grabs him by that, whispers harshly into his ear. Benedict, like his face just fuming and swelling up, is going to walk off and say, apologies about that. You were not banned for life. If this happens again, you will be. Okay.
Alrighty. That's fair, but probably shouldn't be making death threats against people.
I apologize for that. The curator is an extremely passionate man about history. We'll you know, please disregard. He's not in a position to unilaterally make those sorts of decisions. Death threats. Bye. Runs back into the office.
Oh gosh. Lovely.
John and Kele and Asena reunite on the streets outside the Northport Museum of Natural History.
See, Kele, it's
Fantastic.
pretty normal. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's really gonna hurt you or anything.
I've learned so much today.
You could do whatever you want.
Well, that's not
Haley will remember
entirely
that.
correct. No. Well, you know what? He's your friend. Why not? Excellent distraction, Asena. I really appreciate your assistance with that. Mission accomplished, by the way.
I'm a really good docent.
Yes. Yes, you are. And an even better actress. I'm surprised you never actually made it into films when you were out here.
Yeah, well, I was more focused on singing. Films aren't as fun because there's not an audience.
Speaking of which, I don't think we've had the chance to hit up one of the lounges in a while. That would be something fun to do before we have to think about a Northport for a while.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I have enough gold now. I could probably retire.
Yes, I mean, with this, and John goes ahead and compares the envelope to the tips that you've received. I just found a lead with this. Looks like the museum is funded by more than just the admins at the school, but those that are behind the the power behind the throne, as it were. Something we can look into later.
There's a king?
Yeah, the underworld king that Gaston and Etelvina are vying for here in Northport.
Later, we'll look at the king behind the museum.
Exactly.
Was it the guy who was yelling and threatened to kill me?
No, but you handled that expertly. Well done.
Thanks.
Whenever someone threatens you, just threaten them even worse. That's the way that we usually do things. So now, Kele, you can take that to the bank, by the way. Always double up.
I don't have a bank account.
Oh,
Is that a problem?
No, well, we should probably get you one, though, to be honest. Actually, hey, and John goes ahead and takes the dirty money and hands it to Asena and Kele. We should probably get you set up here now that you're going to be staying here for a while.
Oh, right. Where am I going to stay? That nice lady who might be your mom said she was going to help with the music scene. I have no idea how long that's going to take.
Well,
or what that's even going to entail.
With 65,000 Northport bucks, you're going to be fine for a while.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So
Get a room.
Yeah.
A
maybe
suite?
we should spend the rest of our day getting Kele set up to live here.
Cool. Well, what part of town do you want to set him up in?
Aelberg.
I knew it.
You don't need money to get a room in Aelberg. You need a gun or a big stick.
How? So I know he looks really cool, and he's like Asena's like old bestie and ran with wolves. But how like physically imposing is Kele? What's their deal? I know they seem to be a musician of sorts, but
Yeah, Kele's a non-combatant musician. Probably has some support abilities if I was to fully build out a stat block, like a bard or a socialite, but is a relatively low-level character, especially compared to a lot of you. Because aside from a couple of tussles early in life, has not had a lot of adventure, has mostly lived a fairly just secluded life in the village.
Yeah,
You
he's
know-
really like
yeah.
scared of things, if I remember correctly. So all of Asena's pushing is just because she thinks everyone else is like her.
You know, actually, I was initially worried about your Aelberg idea, but the more we talk about it, the more I actually am sold on it because we have some friends there. We have the Red Hands. First of all, your reputation precedes you, Asena, and if we can spend the rest of the day getting Kele associated with your reputation, he doesn't have to lift a finger. As long as we can play him up to be some kind of big bruiser with a heart of gold and a silver tongue for music, and the Red Hand to back them up, Aelberg might be an amazing place for them, and they can keep an eye on your lair while we're gone.
Does my lair need an eye?
Well, I suppose not, but if he becomes intimately familiar with it, then if we need something, he can always grab it for us and, I don't know. I figured you have this cool, hidden house. Maybe you'd like someone to check it on it.
You know what else is cool?
Behold, an act of God.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh, a secret passage.
Well, hello there.
Probably has something to do with Asena's lair. A secret passway through Aelberg that allows Kele to move pretty freely between Asena's lair and the outskirts without getting into trouble.
Or also to an apartment, maybe?
Where would that apartment be? Just like another burned out apartment in Aelberg?
Maybe somewhere in Tide Point.
Could be in Tide Point. Let's check out
Don't
Tide
you
Point.
want to look at the water? Isn't Tide Point a little nice?
It's an industrial area, so I'm going to lean on the side of no.
We could gentrify it.
Gentrify Tide Point. Okay, Northport, Tide Point. Block after block of massive factories devoted to the production of basic commodities, steel, chemicals, and machine parts. Almost nobody lives there. There are some of the newer factories have guards who live in barracks on site, but like nobody, there's almost no residential in Tide Point.
What about a bit more up in
Like Newton?
Newton? That's a nice place.
That's like skyscrapers. Now, with that kind of money, you could absolutely put him there. Apartments are available and expensive. There's a reason that your not mom lives here, right? She has this fancy penthouse. So it's kind of downtown, upscale living. You could absolutely put him up here. He'd have no idea what to do. He could learn as long as he has somebody to teach him. Asena, you're really good at teaching people things. And you already know your... And you already know your way of, like, you know, you dealt with that door guard who didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
So you could put him up at here in Newton if you wanted.
I mean, that makes sense to me, especially if he's going to have to be doing fancy music things.
Mm-hmm. That could work.
And then we build a secret passage.
Cool. Is that what you two want to do?
That sounds good to me.
You like Newton?
Yeah, why not?
All right. You set him up with not like a huge, luxurious suite, but a nice apartment in Newton. Conveniently located near Resco Field, where people play cade ball, let's say. And so, yeah, he's all settled in. It's going to take the better part of a day to do all the paperwork. You know, real estate deals, it should take longer, but this is Northport City of Adventure, so it doesn't follow all the normal rules of boring stuff. So it's a brief montage of slapping down a huge amount of cash, signing paperwork with a very excited real estate agent. Now, I don't know if you could buy it at that price, or if you could. No, you wouldn't be able to buy it at that price, but you'd be able to set him up with rent for a long time.
Cool.
Awesome. And that's going to take the better part of the day. Remember, it's going to be a couple of days before the lightning bug comes back, just because of the timing on the journey. So you've got at least another full day to go by. Do you want to go ahead and move forward with that? What do you want to do? What else do you want to accomplish before the device arrives?
Question, what's the extent of this secret passage? How long can it go?
Well, if it's going to be super long, we need to justify it going through the sewer system, because Northport has a sewer system of adventures. Obviously, it's a city of adventure. So if it's too long, we'd have to figure out like why it's so long and why it doesn't hit any of the other undercity superstructures of the city.
What if instead of being a sewer system, if it's something else entirely?
Like what?
Like, we have a lot of various heroes, villains, and otherwise in this city. What if we discover that there is a villain or hero that had mole powers of sorts, and there's a bunch of little tunnels that are across Northport, and this was just one of many that happens to lead as avoiding the sewers of adventure, and as a direct line between nearabouts where the lair is to nearabouts where the apartment is.
For the time being, we shall refer to this mysterious and copyright and intellectually legally distinct entity as Das Untermanner.
Okay, Das Untermanner it is. And Das Untermanner is either no longer in Das Commission or they've been on the down low recently, and so we're just utilizing one of their many tunnels.
All right, let's go full ridiculous on this, and we're gonna roll to see the status of Das Untermanner.
Oh, okay.
All right, pulling up my random NPC tables, we are going to say we don't have to fully develop Das Untermanner on the air, but as for the Das Untermanner's status,
I think this would be a time for chat to feel free to drop whatever they want to buff Das Untermanner.
roll 3d6, please.
Do you care who does it?
No, I don't care who does it. 11. Das Untermanner is alive and well. Which means that there's some reason why the two of you get along. Pods, roll 3d6 for me, please.
What if Das Untermanner like popped up in one of Asena's lairs and she just punched him? He's like, "Oh, I like you. You can stand up to Rise," or something like that.
Das Untermanner is a villain who uses his powers to rob banks and such. So we're gonna need to dig a little bit deeper to figure out more about Das Untermanner.
Oh, didn't you say that Newton has like a bunch of high class areas? There's there's a Pinnacle Bank. What if Untermanner was robbing the Pinnacle Bank and had a tunnel that dug right up to Asena's lair, and he pops out there when he was robbing a bank?
Okay, and so he was planning on this bank robbery, and then Asena whacked him like whack-a-mole and basically blackmailed him into, you will let us use your secret tunnel or we'll tell everybody about it. Would you do that, Asena? Or would you handle it differently?
I mean, I also don't like the idea of keeping my money in the bank.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you have any money in the bank.
Well,
right?
John just talked about getting a bank account.
For Kele, yeah.
You don't want to put your money in the bank. You want to keep it in your lair.
Okay. All right. The apartment that you got has a safe. So anything you want to stash in Kele's safe on like the 12th floor, you can do so.
But yeah, we would do that for the Unta guy.
Das Untermaler. Not, oh my God, he's going to turn into Untermauler.
Yeah, exactly.
Das Unterminer. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to do some work on that later. Because it's, you know what? Pods, give me a 1d100 roll real quick. I was not going to do this, but now I'm getting more invested in this character and I need to know more. 91. Das Untermanner was once a sailor before his terrible accident. And he swore revenge against society. Actually, roll, Matt. Go ahead and roll. Where'd he go? Okay. Roll 1d6, please.
1d6. That's it. 4. I got a 4.
All right. He wants power and mastery. And Pods, roll 1d6.
Okay. A 1.
All right. Now roll an insight check, Pods.
Okay.
13. After Das Unterminer burrows up with his tunneling machine beneath your base and you thwack him, he pretty quickly falls in line. You get the impression that this is somebody who wants to be in charge, but is a lot better at following orders.
I mean, he was a sailor, right?
Exactly. Was a military sailor. And so he has his
the beatings will continue until morale improves, so he's used to taking one to the head.
And the last thing we're going to do, aside from him robbing banks, is we're going to discover his sinister plans. So, John, roll 1d8.
A 1.
1. Okay. Pods, roll 1d4.
All of the tiny dogs in Northport.
3.
Okay.
What do you got for us?
You roll 1d20 Matt?
1d20 it is for a 4.
Okay.
I was hoping for a 12.
Ooh. And
I wanted anyway.
odds, roll 1d10.
3.
3. Truly, this is a sinister man. He is not actually robbing banks. Or he is robbing banks, but not simply to take the money. He is tactically targeting banks that have the accounts of people whose properties are in distress, so that by robbing the bank, he can force them into default and cause the bank to evict them. And then he uses those evicted, emptied properties as part of his network of secret passages that he's building throughout the city in abandoned properties.
Oh, he's a terrible person.
Exactly. He's the opposite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a total jackass. So
I thought you were going to say he was like Robin Hood, but he's like not Robin Hood at all.
No, he's the exact opposite of Robin Hood. He's getting people evicted so that he can use abandoned properties or he's getting places condemned so he can use them as part of his secret network. And you have discovered his sinister plan and have threatened him that you'll reveal his presence to the much stronger heroes. Hey, we're in good with. You ever heard of the Wonder Team?
Oh God, the Action Bunch. Don't talk about them.
The Action Bunch. I got them on lock. They're in my Rolodex. One word from me, and they're gonna show up and beat you up.
Beat me up.
No, I'm just saying that you could tell them that you're in with them, but you're also just Asena, the dragon of Zolkria. So, all right. Das Untermanner is who's definitely gonna get a new name because it's way too similar to Untermaler, and we'll work on that. Anyways, you now have a secret network of abandoned properties that you can burrow through.
Oh. How big are the tunnels?
I think he uses a drilling machine rather than having like super mole powers. He uses a drilling machine. So they're like a 5-foot diameter. So you probably have to duck to move through them because his drilling machine is kind of small.
Okay. Still good to know.
It bypasses the sewers and other superstructure of the area because he's super familiar with all of that.
Hey, mate.
Do you run errands too?
Never!
Do you have anyone under you? Does anyone work for you?
Soon all of Northport will work for me, but at the moment, no, unfortunately.
Okay. Because it would be really cool to use the tunnels as like to send letters. Secret letters.
He was about to yell at you. Okay, what's his costume like? I think he dresses like a sailor suit, white with the blue and all that, like a sailor's dress, formal stuff, except that he has a miner's helmet and needs something else too. I don't know what else. We'll work on it. Anyways, when you say secret letters, then he starts thinking, that could work.
Think about it.
Yes,
But maybe you can work up a map of all of your connected places.
I have a perfect memory of my tunnels. I don't need a map.
Well, I need a map. So are you going to draw me one or what?
Roll an intimidation check. Super Birchman. Yeah.
So it means great miner in German.
Perfect. Thank you.
Super Bergmann.
Thank you.
I'm learning German for when I go to Munich this year. So
Nice.
I
A
got
10 intimidation. Grumpily, not like, oh, please don't hurt me, but like, fine.
Plus, just because you know all the intricacies of your tunnel doesn't mean that everyone else is smart enough to remember where they are. So they're going to need a map.
No, because nobody else knows about them because I'm too smart for all of them.
Well, I know about them. And if
You
you're
don't
not
think-
careful, everyone's going to know about them.
Gets out like a piece of blueprint paper and a piece of charcoal and just staring directly at you, incredibly angry, puts down and draws a map. It's crude, but accurate.
very
Yeah.
good.
This is pretty good. Could be better.
Could be a lot better. But it's serviceable, just like your tunnels. So
Will there be
So
anything? What?
these tunnels, do they just pop up into the abandoned place? Like
Yes,
first
allowing me
floor?
to move undetected by the city and its defenders.
And now your tunnels are our tunnels, as long as we can keep your secret.
They're my tunnels, and they're sort of a lease lend arrangement.
Okay, so they're your tunnels, and we're leasing them indefinitely, as long as we can keep your secret.
Yes, precisely, an indefinite lease.
Well, Super Björkman, great miner of Northport, we're in your debt. Thank you very much.
Indeed, don't you forget it. Now,
Oh, I shan't.
I must resume my malevolent digging, if you please.
Oh,
Okay,
just
goodbye.
one more thing before you
Never
go.
mind.
And John's going to go ahead and cast suggestion. Super Björkman, if you wouldn't mind. And he's going to go ahead and, knowing the longitude and latitude of where Department 7 is, he's going to ask Super Björkman to tunnel to that exact longitude latitude point.
He does so, or at least he starts doing so
For the next 8 hours, yeah.
for the next 8 hours.
Where is Department 7 from here, by the way? Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's not that far.
Nope.
He might make it.
It's slow going because he has to make sure he doesn't like puncture the canals, you know, any of that stuff. Very, very careful, very slow work. But I digress. Having invented a villain, a minor supervillain, whole from the cloth, and discovered a series of secret mole tunnels beneath the city, what the hell were we doing? I completely...
We're getting Kele a house.
Right, yeah, the real estate deal is done. He's set up, he has an apartment. It's a nice apartment. It's like kind of middle upper class, semi-luxury, not
Nice.
penthouse billionaire living, but like, oh, wow, okay. The kind of place that would cost like $4,000 a month, you know, in San Diego.
Pretty
Well, he's
good.
got plenty for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's set for a long time, for at least a year or more, without making any money. And the Carringtons are fabulously wealthy, and Jasmine has already agreed to help him out. So
Yeah.
cool.
Also, we just scored some nice non-sewer transport around town, which is
Indeed.
nice.
All right, I'm going to move Kele on the map because he's all set at his new apartment, which is a location I'm going to have to mark, and I'm going to have to add.
Where
Super
was this?
Batman
Is that where we ganked Jodo, or where Gaston
That's the
ganked
secret
Jodo with us?
exit from Gaston's
That's the
laboratory.
secret exit. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
And where are the Carringtons in here?
Oh. Yeah, I erased their spot and I didn't put them back on the map because I'm a goober. They're close to Pinnacle Bank.
Okay, so something around here then.
Yeah, I'll throw them back on the map, but they're in that general vicinity.
Okay.
Jasmine Reese Carrington. Keeping in mind, of course, that this is her apartment specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that the
Staying
Carrington...
in her apartment complex? Like her condo area or condominium?
No. He's a couple blocks over. What I was saying is that Philip doesn't live there. That's her home.
Yeah.
Philip has an apartment in Tomorrow Town, which is still
Tomorrow Town.
under construction. And Aloysius dwelled in the family estate, which I believe was in Greenvine, which is old money territory. So I need to add that mansion on there somewhere.
Oh.
But yeah, Aloysius had the
Have
mansion.
we explored Greenvine? If that's where Aloysius was spending a lot of their time. I know that they took a lot of their things before they left, but
Mhm.
maybe they had like a secret bunker or something.
Could be. You could probably get into Carrington Estate.
Yeah, can we ask Jasmine when we're working with Kele up there and see if she knows anything about that? I mean, she was in like the inner circle for a lot of this stuff.
Hell, she grew up. Well, no, she didn't grow up in that mansion, but she lived there when she married Asena's father. They lived at the manor for a while because the manor is designed to be like a multi-generational house.
Yeah.
So she knows the ins and outs of it fairly well. Her husband would have known more. But she can absolutely give you permission to enter. Is that what you want to
Okay.
do next?
I mean, just to cross it off the list, and also if it's in Greenvine, Warner Dodson is right next door.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Donahue Institute's in Greenvine, so
Yeah, true.
there we go. All right. Just placing some people around. Asena, any input on that or anything else that you want to do?
John, are we going to the memorial?
Absolutely.
It's still in a few
I mean,
days.
You want to, right?
I would like to, although I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm supposed to.
Oh, we can get you in, Asena. First of all, your family's going to bring you, but if they don't, we can get you in.
Well, we might need an outfit.
You want to go shopping?
It doesn't have to be today, but I'm just saying.
Why
We
not
got a
today?
lot of gold, so
We got a lot of money.
I don't think we've ever gone shopping.
No, not this kind of shopping. I mean, we've made our way into a couple of stores and gotten
We
some
bought
necessities.
those spoons before.
Yes, we bought out an entire stock of goods. No, I think this sounds like a great idea. I mean, normally, when we are trying to retrofit clothes, Gaston is the one who kind of helps with that. So without our tech tailor to assist us, I think this would be a good chance for us to go on out there. I mean, you have that really amazing tuxedo that you.
I
had
have
gotten
a
while back.
tuxedo. I don't think you can wear a tuxedo to a funeral.
I mean, you could change an entire fashion statement here in Northport by probably pulling something like that off. But yeah, I mean, we might want to go for something a little more respectful or demure, certainly.
Maybe you could
Alright.
get one of those fancy hats.
Are you
that,
thinking
like,
suit
look
or
over
dress?
you. Probably a dress. I could wear dresses.
Yeah, especially if we get something that you can hike up and fight in, just in case the need arises.
Do you have a tailor?
I mean, I don't, but I'm certain that anywhere around here where we purchase clothing, that wouldn't be impossible.
You have a
They have
couple
the
of options
finest.
on this. Newton, being the downtown financial district, is also home to some upscale boutiques. Very fancy department stores. However, the garment district is where a lot of that stuff gets made. It's like the fashion district before it got gentrified. It's much more industrial, much more like small shops, but it's where this stuff actually happens. So if you want to buy something that's high fashion, Newton. If you want to get something custom made, the garment district. You'll have to do a little bit more digging, but Catherine Rascal at the Essex Hotel is in that area. She knows everybody. She could 100% point you to the right people.
Yeah, the garment district is John's neck of the woods, so that wouldn't be hard at all.
Is that what you want to do, Asena?
Oh, sure. I mean, if we're looking for something custom.
Mm-hmm.
I would like if we can pop over and just check in with McCoy and Department 7 before we head out of town. We're kind of right next door to where they are right now.
Are we going to take the tunnel?
Yeah, let's take the tunnel.
That tunnel isn't done yet.
Oh,
The tunnel
right.
could be done.
Go get your clothes and then use the tunnel.
Well, you heard him. All right, let's go ahead and get
Or you can
clothes
take
and
a
then we'll-
taxi right now. Either way is fine. Your call.
Well, you did say the tunnel would be done, so...
Yeah, in like 8 hours after the suggestion spell's over. So sometime tonight. So
Perfect.
shopping?
All right. Shopping.
And so our heroes undertake the most dangerous adventure of their lifetime, shopping for a funeral. When we return, you'll find out how this thrilling adventure concludes on Coriander Society Adventures.